Before we start today's lesson, let's share five truths nobody really explained to you as a teenager, and I'm excited to share that with you this morning. One of the things I want to share with you is that school does not automatically prepare you for life, that you must know. You can get good grades and still be confused about so many things, such as money, careers, jobs, business. That's why this course I think is inevitable for you to miss. And second thing is most adults are still figuring out life. Yes, even adults. I've been there. Many people choose career late, change their jobs many times, and also learn money the hard way. So, learning early gives you an advantage if and consider yourself very blessed this morning to be part of this. Talent alone is never enough. There are talented people everywhere in the world, and they are broke. There are average people who are successful. The difference between these two generations are with skills, discipline, and of course, a decision, as you may know. The fourth one I want to share with you before we get into it is the world pays for value, not age. The internet does not care how old you are if you can solve problems. That's what we all care about. You need to communicate well and, of course, create values. You can earn, lead, and succeed early if you know these basic fundamentals. And, of course, the one of the hard truth I also want to tell you this morning is your future is being shaped right now. Not after graduation, not after college, right now. When I mean right now, I mean right now. So, what you learn, how you think, how you see your time, it's important. That's why this class really matters. So, that being taken care of, that said, hello everyone. I want to welcome you all to the first week of jobs, career, and entrepreneurship, and of course, financial literacy class. In this course, we're not just learning for exams, we're not learning for schools, we're learning for real life. Life will ask you questions like, what do I want to do in my future? So ask yourself, what do you want to do in your future? Ask yourself, how do people actually make money? And also ask yourself, why do some people enjoy their work while others hate their job? And how do businesses start as well? And how can I prepare early instead of struggling later? That's those fundamental questions you must ask yourself. You are not too old, you are not too young to ask yourself those questions and get into life as it approaches you to your face. At the end of this course, you will understand basic stuff like how work really functions in the world, how people build career step by step, how businesses are created and grow, how money works. That's very fundamental. And of course, how you can start preparing early. No matter where you live in the world, to this lesson is definitely a foundation of everything else we will learn. So, we're looking at understanding work careers and purpose. Before we talk about money, jobs, and business ideas, we must first answer one vital, which I call important question. Why do people work at all? Why do people work? So when you understand that, everything else makes sense to you. You don't need to have your whole life figured out, but you do need to start understanding how life works, and that's the reason why we are here. So get your seatbelt and ready to jump in and work with me. The question basically is, what is work? When you hear the word work, what comes to your mind? That's pretty. Just think about it. What exactly does work mean? Some people think work means stress. Some may think it means waking up early. Some would think it means punishment. Some may think that work is just money. What do you think is work? All of these ideas, all of these suggestions I've made are incomplete. They're all incomplete. I'm going to break it down to you so that you understand what exactly work is. Of course, work is anything useful you do that help other people. I will say that again. Work is anything useful you do that helps someone else. So if you definitely solve a problem, that is work. If you help people, that is work. If you make life very easy or easier for others, that is work. Or you create something very useful, to humanity, that is work. So for me, work is not about age, it's not about uniform, it's not about office, it's about being useful. Ask yourself, are you useful? Do people see me as useful at work? Do people see me as value? Then, if your answer is yes, then you may start thinking in that direction, that then I'm working. This is work. You also need to know that money comes from work. Money is not the reason for work. All right. So money is like points you earn for society. Imagine, I'm sure you must have probably done one or two exercises in school where you earn points, or with your parents or guidance that tell you you need to earn, you must earn a point to get this. So imagine that money is like points you earn for helping society. The more value you create, the more opportunities you get. For example, this generation YouTuber earn so much. So imagine that a YouTuber earns because people earn or get entertained. That's work. Of course, a farmer earns because people need food. You must understand that. A doctor earns because people need care. And of course, you must know that there are various examples of how money works. And one of the reasons is, if you must know what exactly is work to this individual, teaching student, a teacher earn because he taught student, a farmer will earn because he's creating food, a bus driver will always work because it's helping people to move from one location or goods to the other. And of course, designing clothes and shoes, those are work. And of course, writing applications or games so that people can have access to solutions on their mobile phone. Cleaning offices and home, people deliver cleaning services and they're cleaning up their office, people's offices. That is work. Running a small business online store, that's exactly what I call work as well. So you must understand those basic things of what makes up work. What is work? So some of these jobs, it sounds very small, but without them, life automatically stops. So you must understand that no matter how small the job sounds, if nobody does it, the world will take a pause. So, regardless of where you are in the world, you must know that no matter where you live, Nigeria, the US, the UK, India, and Brazil, life only works because people show up to work every time. That you must know. So, food does not grow by magic, electricity does not appear by itself, phones don't charge themselves, hospitals don't run on wishes, if you must know. So, you must understand that work is not a punishment. Work is not a punishment, work is a contribution. Let that sink. So, work means matter, work means you are useful, work means you are part of society. And once you know that, once you really understand all of these biggies, that once work means you are useful, work means you are part of society, then you will understand that work is contribution, not punishment. The idea of careers, businesses, and money starts will definitely to make sense to you. All right. I'm glad that you got that. I really want you to think about it before you note your answers, and that's very key so that you really understand where we are heading to. Let me ask you this: why do you think your parents, your guardians, or older siblings wake up every day and go to work? Why? Why do you think they wake up in the morning and go to work? Okay, so hear this. It's not because they enjoy stress. It's not because they actually love traffic. It's not. It's not because they want to suffer. I don't know if you've seen anybody that says he or she wants to suffer, you know. But you must know that people work for many reasons. Money is just one of it. So now you can, right? Money is just one of the reason why people work. Some people work, to earn money and pay bills. Cause some earn to support their families, to take care of others. Some will help to work, to solve problems in society. Some work to feel useful and respected. Some is just to improve themselves. That's some of the reason why people work. Different people work for different reasons, and all of them are all valid. Every reason that anybody gives you to work, because they're the one doing the job, so it's all valid according to them anymore. To them, it's a fact. To others, it might sounds like an opinion. So you must understand that a teacher works to help students, to learn. A nurse works to help sick people. A business owner works to create jobs. A content creator works to inform or entertain us. I always love sometimes just to be on TikTok and see what's going on. So a mechanic also work to keep people's car moving all the time. So when people stop working, life becomes difficult. When people stop working, life becomes very difficult for everyone. But work doesn't really give people money. It gives people something very deeper. So you might want to find out what exactly is deeper than money. Knowing responsibility, showing up even when you don't feel like it. That is what I call being responsible. Skills, learning how to do things well is one skill that also supports you, that teaches you very well on the job. Discipline and managing time and effort, is very key when it comes to discipline at work. And of course, knowing you can handle life. That means I'm talking about confidence. Confidence to do things even when it's kind of stormy. You can stand towards it and definitely be confident about it. So confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from doing. It's action word. It comes from doing. It doesn't come from how. Doesn't matter how long people talk to you and try to give you some abstract energy, into you. It helps, but that's not confidence. It doesn't come from various motivation. It comes doing the right thing, doing the same thing, doing the work. So the word doing, that's where confidence coming from. So you must understand that the earlier you understand why people work, the earlier you start making better decisions in life. It's very critical to your future, to your development. So understand that better subject choices, understand that your better use of time is very critical. You must understand that better towards learning is also very critical, and of course better career and money decisions matters a lot as we speak on this journey of why do people really work. You don't need to have everything to, you really don't need to have everything, figure out now. But understanding work very early gives you a head start in life. So think about it. Why do my parents get up every morning? This is the reason. Let's do some reality check right here. So most people confuse a job and a career. They're not the same. You must understand that this morning and understand that the difference early, will definitely save you years of confusion, which have been there. So you don't want to be in that space where you are confused as you are growing up in life as a teenager. So this is what I know. A job is something you do mainly, to earn money, handle responsibility now. A job is what you do to meet short-term needs. Jobs are often short-time or medium-time. They focus on tasks, easy to manage. You must understand that that is exactly what jobs are. So working in a shop, that's a job. Delivering food or packages anytime you see somebody delivers food at your doorstep or food, that's a job. Helping in an office, cleaning, doing some stuff, administrative stuff, that's a job. Assisting online or remotely, that's a job as well. What we are doing, it's a job. So that you must understand. Jobs are very, very important. Of course, I always want to say that there is dignity in every honest job. There must be dignity. There's always dignity, pride in every honest job that you do. No job is useless. Every society needs people to do real work. You must understand that the society that fails to get people to do real work suffers a lot in terms of GDP. But when we're talking about career is kind of different. Career is a long time journey. Career is built over time. Career is always developed through learning, skills, and experience. A career is not about one paycheck. A career is about growth. A career answers the question, who am I becoming over time? You must understand that what you are becoming, you must know exactly what you are becoming over time. You must know that as a student, you start as a student, you learn skills, you become an intern or a training, you get your first job, on the job you gain your experience, then as time progresses, you grow into leadership, businesses, or expertise. Every step that you've gone through has definitely taught you something, and that's what I call a career in modern times. So you must understand that a career starts posting. For example, things. This is a world. This is a generation where internet has become very big. So imagine that a creator, start posting. A creator will learn how to edit. A creator will build an audience. A creator will start earning money, and of course, it becomes a brand. And that's where you have the influencer everywhere. A tech learner start to code, fixes small problems, get paid, and of course, as time goes, definitely build a product. So, career is the direction. The job is just one step on the road. Career is the direction. The job is just one step on the road. So, if you must know, a job will definitely pay bills. A career builds a future for you. Ask yourself, do you want to get a job or you really want to have a career? It takes You may take many jobs, but you should think long time as an individual, as a kid. You can take as many jobs that you really want to take, but always think long term. What exactly is my career path? That is very key. It's okay if you don't know your career yet. It's fine. You are not out of place. What matters is learning how to think it early. That's really what matters as a teenager. And that's where we're going to probably jump in and help you sort your career in this 13 weeks course. Jobs will always help you survive. Careers help you grow as it progresses on that job. But purpose helps your work mean something. So for every man, for every woman, you must have a purpose. Purpose helps your work mean something. Okay, let me explain to you. Purpose is not about having everything figured out. Purpose is about impact. Purpose is always about impact that you bring on. Purpose means the reason your work matters to you. You must understand the purpose of your work. How does it matter to you? Purpose means the problem you care about fixing. That's purpose. Of course, you must also understand that purpose also means that the value you add to people's life. You must understand it's very critical. Purpose is what makes work feel useful, not empty. Purpose is what drives you. I really want to get you to work every time. Purpose is what drives you. I really want you to do what you do, and you do it at the best of your knowledge. Not You don't feel empty. When you start feeling empty, and I guess there is no purpose on that job for you anymore. So not everyone finds their purpose early. Not everyone. So you are not alone in that space. That's normal. Not everyone will find their purpose early in life, and that's really normal. We've all been there. Many adults discovers purpose very, very late. Ask me when I discovered mine. You don't want to know. So purpose can change over time. Purpose grows with experience. You must also know that right now, your job is not to find your purpose. Underline that. Your job is not to find your purpose, it's to start noticing problems. So as you progresses in life, you should be able to be sensitive enough to identify problems, to see how can my skills, my expertise, my personality solve a problem. The moment you're able to identify problems, you notice a problem, then you must know how do I solve this problem. Then you start beginning to know that, okay, this is my purpose on my job. So if you must know, so you must notice students struggling, becomes teacher or tutor. That's a problem. As they struggle, as you struggle, that do I really want to help student to learn more? Does student have problem learning? The moment you identify that, then you might want to begin a process, purposeful purposeful trip to see how you can solve that problem. That means you identify a problem. Someone notices dirty environment, then they start a cleaning business. That's purpose. The moment you identify that this environment, this county is very dirty, this street is very dirty, then you can say, okay, this is a problem. Let me see how do I solve this problem. Then already you have a purpose for starting a cleaning business. Someone notices that people wasting time you know, on so many stuff, and it's taking time. And you find that you can also develop a mobile application that can, reduce people's time, manage people's time. Then you identify that problem, then you're able to develop it. That's a purpose. Someone notice lack of information, then you say, oh, people are not getting the information rightly. Then you think about, how do I solve this problem? Then you start as a content creator. You already solve a problem, So you must understand that purpose is about solving problem. Every solution starts with someone paying attention. So if there are problems, if there are issues, the solution starts by someone noticing, giving it attention and be able to find a solution to it as well. So reflect about it and ask yourself, what problems around me do I see around? Think about it. What problems do I see around me as a teenager? What problem do I see? What problem can I solve? Ask yourself again, what do people complain about often? Ask yourself that, ever since I go out with my mom, I go out with my guardians, I go out with friends and family, what do people always complain about? That might be a problem that you might want to solve and create a career part out of it. What do people need help with, but don't get enough? What is that thing that people need help with, but they don't really get enough about it? So think about those fundamental questions that you can connect truly by identifying your purpose. Connect truly. If you are not connecting truly, then you can't really find the purpose of what you want to become in life. Many careers and businesses begin with one simple thought, just one, just one simple thought. The career begins, a career will start, So this problem should be solved better. That, okay, how can I solve this problem better? Somebody is doing it, but how can I do it better? And that's where your purpose come in, as somebody that really wants to work, that understand work. So that thought will always lead to innovation. That thought will always lead to leadership. That your thoughts will always lead to opportunity, and that's very critical. So, in other words, purpose is not something you rush into; it's something you grow into. Purpose is not something you rush into; it's something you grow into as time progresses. So I kind of like this part. I love this part because sometimes people imagine that your father's farmland is the biggest. But just to let you know that the world is much bigger than your city, is much bigger than your country, is much bigger than your school. The world is much bigger than the four corners of your house. Let that sit into you. The world is much bigger than you. That you must know that work definitely looks different in different places. The way people work in US is different from how people work in the UK. The way people work in the UK is different from how people work in Brazil, Nigeria, France, and all of that. You must understand this basic truth. In some part of the world, technology jobs are common. In some parts, technology jobs you can get, they are very common. 60% of the GDP is driven by technology. That means technology job is very, very at a high demand in that country. You must also know that in some country, people work online. People work online a lot, and you must know that remote work is normal. In this present age, remote work is definitely normal. In other places, farming feeds millions of people. Farming is a big deal. It drives the economy there. So you must know that trade and market power, they always power community. Small businesses in some countries, small businesses support families. In some countries, small businesses are players when it comes to the economic value. So understand that skilled labor keeps city running. So I've just given you two examples of technology versus farming. Technology is very key in some countries that determines so much in that country. And of course, some countries, agriculture is very, very key. It feeds, they believe that the agriculture will feed millions. Agriculture can do trade and market. Agriculture can develop small businesses to support their family. Agriculture can also, improve skilled laborers which run the city at all times. So no country no country at all. No country survives on only one type of work. No country will survive on only one type of work in life. Every country has so many numerous aspects of sectors of life that runs the economy. So you must understand that normalize all forms of work is very, very key. The country, responsible country should be able to normalize all forms of work and make it more holistic for the country to thrive more. So every kind of honest work really matters. Every kind of honest work, every kind of honest work really, really matters. Just like technology needs electricity and food. Who does technology without electricity or food to survive? Cities need farmers, builders, drivers, cleaners. That's basic. That's fundamental for any country or cities. Like all businesses need more thinker, and doers. Every business must have both thinkers and doers on that job. For the job to survive and see the test of time. So you must understand that one thing is the same everywhere in the world. Just one thing is the same everywhere in the world, and this is value will always create opportunity. Value will always create opportunity. Do not forget that if you have value, then there is always limited opportunity for you to expand your coast. If you solve problems, you become very useful. If you learn skills, you become needed in any society. If you help people, you create opportunities at all times. So that's very fundamental. When you learn to create value, you are not limited to one place. That's the good news about this slide, global perspective. When you are able to learn how to create value, you are not limited to one place, you are not limited to one country, you are not limited to one county, you are not limited to one state, because skills travels far, knowledge travels, discipline travels, and those are the great skills that you must have if you are bringing value to the table. Skills is important, knowledge travels so far, discipline is very, very, it's a trip. So if you have all of these qualities, the world has become a global village for you. You can travel from the US to Dubai, you can go from Dubai to South Africa and work because you have what it takes. You are bringing value, and value will always bring opportunities for you. So, in other words, you must know that this simply means that you can work locally, you can work nationally, and you can also work globally if you have value that employers are really looking for. Where you start does not limit where you can contribute. That's the point. Where you start in life doesn't limit where you can contribute as somebody that comes with value on the table. All right, I'm so excited, and let me just have a recap quickly so that you know exactly how what we have done so far. Today we have learned that work is contribution, not punishment. Please kindly put that. A job is something you do to earn income. That is very basic. We also learned that a career is something you build over time. You don't build a career in one day. It's an overtime. It keeps you keep developing on it. We also learned today that purpose gives work meaning. You must have purpose. That you work. What's the purpose of you working? That's very fundamental for you to succeed. You must also understand that every honest form of work deserves respect. Every honest form of work deserves respect. It doesn't really matter what people really does, as long as it has dignity, it's honest, then that job must be respected. That job must be saluted, and that's what I'm talking about. When I really, whatever job, anybody you find at the other side of the counter, maybe a cashier, restaurant, a cleaner, whatever, it's important that this is considered as honest job, and they deserve that respect that you must give to anybody even with a career path. Everything we will talk about in this course, we will definitely build on, and we are building on it, and this is the foundation of it. Everything we talk about on this course for 13 weeks, we'll always be building on this thing. Do not forget this slide. I want you to go back again, read about it, read very well, study it, and make sure that you understand every piece that I've shared with you. So you must choose your career wisely. Thinking like an entrepreneur is fundamental for you to build a career. You must have, make a better money decisions as a teenager. That's very key. And becoming a responsible leader is another thing that you must consider. How to become a responsible leader. It starts from now, which is very, very key. It really starts from now. In the next lesson, we'll talk more on the focus inward. We will talk more, turn into the inward processes, how to understand yourself, your strengths, your talents, your interests. You can't build a future if you don't understand yourself first. You must be able to understand yourself. You want to understand your partner, because it's about you. It's you. It's not about me. It's not about the second guy next door. It's not about the lady in the other block. It's about you. You as a teenager, you as a high school student, you as a middle school student, or a pre-college student. It's about you. It's about how you can build a future. You can't build a future if you don't understand yourself. That's one fundamental thing you must know. You do not need to rush or have the answers right now as a teenager. Taking this lesson seriously will definitely give you a head start that many people never get. And that's the beauty of it. Your future is shaped by what you learn today. All right, I will need you to, this is your assessment for this week. There are two parts. One part is essay, one part is multiple choice. Explain why work is important to individuals and society. Describe the difference between a job and a career using multiple examples. I need you to put that all of the write down the questions and the answers in your Timido app and write the answers in there for question one and question two. Put all the answers in there. Then for the multiple choice, you also need to check. I will also send you the multiple choice questions. Answer those questions and put the answers as well in your Timido app. Thank you so much. I'll see you again next week. All right.